glasses. So last time we talked about London electricity and 5 things I learned really helped my productions and just as a listener that I like about them. So I figured let's go for another producer I enjoy, or team, or group, or yeah, we'll get into that. It's Don Wall. So let's go right into it. So number 1, I think let's go with quality over quantity. So instead of focusing on like how many things you make, focusing on just making really good top quality tracks every time, and that's what they're good at. Like they don't release a ton throughout the year, like every few months or so, and you can't really fault them for anything. They're exactly what you expect in a good way. So like some people are just like churn out track after track after track, and maybe there's a good one here or there, and some just like you want to fill up space on your EP. But these guys, there's no filler at all. There's just 3-4 tracks that just hit super hard and always do really well, and it's hard to find a fault unless it's just like not your taste. But as artists, like the quality control is just up there. I don't think they've ever released anything bad. To put this like in my own way, is I really just try to focus on the same thing, just putting out good tune. Like we all make a ton of music, and it's best just to let the good ones come out, or at least the ones that you feel are really good, or the label, whatever have you, because not all of them, even if you might like them, they might not be the best to put out there. You want to be really consistent with what you do, and a good way is just to be really like critical about yourself, not in a bad way, but just in a way that contributes to you growing more. So be really focused. People will remember you for the quality things that you put out instead of how many things you put out. Now you have guys like Spy who can do both quality and quantity. He can just put out a ton of music because he's really fast, but he's really good at what he does, and he knows exactly what he wants and exactly how to make that. You have to have been in the game for so long, you can just do that. Don Juan probably has been, but no one knows who they are, so what does that matter? But we'll get to that. So yeah. That same kind of vein, be consistent with everything you do. Well, yeah, with everything you do, but we're talking about music. So you can tell by each of their EP, 3 or 4 tracks, 2, 3, whatever, and they're always, like I said, top quality. The sound is on point, production, the mixing, everything. You know what you're going to get each release. And that's a good thing to really focus on as an artist yourself, is to, really define who you are and your sound. And that really comes through with being consistent. Not to say you can't venture off into like another genre, another sound. Maybe you want to make something liquid this time, and you want to make something really like deep and gritty and, whatever. But it's still consistent to you at some point, either the quality or the sound or just an idea that you're going for, But really, consistency is key. That's what keeps you around and people coming back to your music. With that consistency, let's go into something more specific. Now, a Don Juan track when you hear it. It has one break. They have that one break that we all, whether we know specifically or we don't, or it just sounds, it's them. And that's not bad. It's a staple of their sound. Let's make some examples, like this tune, or this one. They all have like basically the same break, which is not an issue at all. Some people are like, oh, that's lazy. But when you have something that good and that versatile, depending on how you use it, it gives you something to like rely on, like a bass. Now with that, they have the same break, similar, whatever. It's everything else they build around it, which really makes the song shine. They have like that one bass to grow off of. And I think that's a really good thing for producers to pay attention to, is have like that one staple sound or like callback that really lets people know it's yours. Like in the hip hop world, there's like the producer tags or whatever that goes off in the beginning of the sound. Like it's similar to that, immediately. So that's one good thing to try out. It doesn't have to be a break. It could be a piano, or just a pad like in the background, or some just effect sound you stick in there. Who knows? But you have one thing that just ties all your music together. I think that's one thing like not a lot of people pay attention to. So number 4, let's build on that. having a formula. When you go to make a track, sometimes you want to be formulaic in the way you do it. So, this is your structure, this is how you're going to build it, these are the sounds you're going to use, the sound you're going to go for, something like that. So Dawn Wall, we know they stick to a formula that it's them because it's their sound, their structure, but they still keep it fresh. You can have a formula, the secret formula, but still, keep it interesting without just rehashing the same ideas. So like there's going to be some kind of vocal, like a high-pitched sampled vocal. They're going to have like some melodic sample going on with like some flutes or, I don't know, strings or something for like a melodic element. Then you have like the tribal element that's going on, which would be like chants or some kind of percussion. Then you have like, your normal like filter, like resound or like some deep kind of bass. But yeah, things come in, there's chops here and there. It's a bit progressive in the way it builds, and then it builds and it builds and it breaks back down. But they do it in a way each time that's different and stays interesting. Like it's coming, but you don't know when it's coming, kind of how like you watch a horror movie and like, oh, you go around the corner, you're gonna die. But it's interesting because like, how is she gonna die? She's stuck in the car trying to get out, but killer comes around, I'm not gonna kill you this time, but I'm gonna stalk you for a little bit, if that made any sense at all. But yeah, just have your formula or just an overall plan to how you're gonna make this track. Try that out. Sense at all. But all right, so basically creating like hype around yourself. I don't really know how to word this, but just think like, who is Dawn Wall? No one really knows. We all have an idea. They've been pretty much secretive for the last few years. It could be, one part of artificial intelligence or Lomax or somebody from here, somebody from there. Who knows? Or it's just like a big super group, which would be cool. Or maybe it's not the same person each time, but it's the same name. Either way, we come back to them all the time because we're like, who are these guys? Or girl, who knows? But they have like this hype and this just attention pulled towards them because you don't know who they are. All you get is like the little face and you're just like, well, that's who they are. They're this mask, this picture, this artwork. And it's kind of really cool because it just draws you in. It's like they're not just anyone. But then more related, they're on Integral. And with Integral, you have like another sort of like enigma in the scene or whatever, if that's the right word. You have Mohican Sun. It's like, who is that? They have like the same little art thing. You only really get the face. And so being secretive can create hype. It makes sense because it happens all over. It's like Banksy. No one's ever really seen him, but his art pops up everywhere. Just like we only see Banksy's art. We don't see who they are. Like we don't have a face to put with them, But when something happens, we all pay attention. So some part of that works, Okay, somebody's driving away. Anyway, so that's like, I don't know, 5 things. And it's kind of 5 like random things. It's a bit less focused. They all kind of go together, but they really contribute to just who Dawn Wall is, I think. And not to say that's the only thing. There's a ton more we can go through, but that's something you can really think about and try to apply to yourself as an artist. I hope that makes sense. I think I hit the topics I wanted to hit. And you can comment if this is weird, or if you want me to go deeper, I'll message you back, whatever. We could start a conversation because all these things can contribute more to you as an artist. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think, your plan, if you agree, disagree. Yeah, but that's 5 things I've learned from Dawn Wall, whoever they might be. Anyway, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.